Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back into the show. It's a great day, baby, because you know what? Football season has officially started. Hope you guys are as excited as I am, man. Last night's game was pretty exciting, a lot of fantasy relevant players went off. Gronk had a huge game. Godwin got in the end zone. Mari Cooper had over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Dak Prescott absolutely went off. So, guys, that was an exciting start to the season. So, just a sign of things to come, guys. It's going to be a very exciting season in the NFL. I am super pumped up. So, guys, today I'm actually going to be going over my players that you must bench in week 1. It's definitely exciting to talk about who to plug into your lineup, but it's also just as important, if not more important, to know who to have on your bench so they don't provide a dud at one of your positions and cost you a week. All right, guys? So I'm going to get right into it. But before we get started, guys, click the subscribe button below. That's going to help me grow my channel, all right? I'm going to be doing updates all season, guys. I'm going to be with y'all every single week with running back rankings, wide receiver rankings, quarterback rankings, tight end rankings. I'm doing a weekly waiver wire show every Tuesday, and I am also going to be doing my must starts and must sits every single week, plus a few additional things that I'll get to you on later. So, guys, I'm going to get right into it. My number one player that I think you need to have on your bench this week is going to be Juju SmithSchuster. Okay, guys, Juju SmithSchuster draws an incredibly tough matchup with a very stingy Bills secondary. Tre'Davious White's going to be covering Juju SmithSchuster most of the game. This does not bode well for Juju SmithSchuster. I personally don't like any of the Pittsburgh receivers this week. I still think that you should start Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson because they're going to get you decent production. Deontay Johnson lining out of the slot is going to get you a decent floor for PPR formats because he's still going to catch a lot of passes. And, Claypool has his big play ability, so, there's a chance that he gets in the end zone. And I think that those guys are going to do decent, but they're definitely nothing to get excited about. They're more like flex players this week than wide receiver 2s. And Juju SmithSchuster is absolutely on your bench. The Tre'Davious White matchup is an absolute terrible matchup for Juju to start the season. I'm not saying that Juju isn't going to have good games, but he's definitely going to be on your bench in week 1, okay? Moving on to my number 2, Kenny Golladay, okay? The Giants have a tough matchup, all right, guys? Going up against the Broncos in week 1. Look, the Broncos really bolstered their secondary over the offseason. They added Ronald Darby to help at the cornerback position, and obviously they had the huge draft pick of Patrick Surtain. So this is going to be a tough secondary for wide receivers. The Giants haven't really had any time to gel. They were dealing with some injuries during the preseason. We don't know if Daniel Jones really has it all figured out yet. Jason Garrett hasn't proven in the NFL that he could be a person that really leads an efficient offense, and this offense just has way too many question marks. You can't trust the offensive line. The only real player on the team that you can trust for any consistent production is Saquon, and he even has a limited ceiling because you don't know if the scoring opportunities are really going to be there for Saquon. But Kenny Golladay is definitely not someone you're going to have on your starting lineup in week 1. Kenny Golladay, guys, is going to be on your bench, okay? I think most people have him right around their wide receiver 40. I think that's pretty accurate. The dude's obviously an incredible talent, but you just can't trust the offense whatsoever, and he's going up against a very stingy Broncos secondary. The odds of him producing any sort of even decent fantasy numbers for this week are just not very good. Kenny Golladay is on your bench for week 2. Another guy that I'm going to have on my bench, and this might surprise some people because he's going to be part of a high-scoring game and just the name value alone. People just love their Odell Beckham Jr. But, guys, Odell Beckham Jr. hasn't proved that he can do anything consistent in fantasy in, like, the past four years. He went to the Browns. Everybody was excited. He's going to be part of a high-scoring offense, and he's going to eat. And, personally, when he first went to the Browns, I thought he was going to be a very productive fantasy asset, but the dude hasn't been consistent for fantasy in quite some time, and until he can prove otherwise, even in what's supposed to be a high-scoring game, you just can't trust him to start, okay? This is a run-first offense, and, even in a high-scoring game, Even sometimes when they're playing from behind, they're still going to lean heavily on Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb to be their main players to move the ball down the field. And Odell Beckham Jr. just hasn't proven that he could be trusted in such a long time that you cannot have him in your starting lineup on week 1. Odell Beckham Jr. is on your bench in week 1. And another player that I think you should have on your bench certainly is Justin Herbert. The Washington defense is just way too good. I think that Justin Herbert's going to have a good season, but he's definitely going to be on your bench for week 1 because I just don't see this offense being able to get much going in the passing game. Austin Eckler has the hamstring injury that he's dealing with, so that's going to affect their ability to move the ball quite significantly. So the scoring opportunities are going to be decreased. So based on just those factors alone, I think that you're definitely going to have Justin Herbert on your bench. Another big one that you should have on your bench, guys, this week is going to be David Montgomery. Okay, David Montgomery has some promise going into the year just because he has the lead workhorse role for the Bears offense. I don't think the Bears have a good offense, but the point is he's going to get the volume this year. That being said, week 1, he's facing up against a very, very good Rams defense led by none other than the best defensive player in football, Aaron Donald. That dude is a one-man wrecking crew. You really don't want to start any running back against an Aaron Donald-led Rams defense. Now, if it's one of the super elite matchup-proof running backs, you still start them, obviously. But David Montgomery is far from that. He's far from matchup-proof. And in this matchup, you certainly do not want him to be in your starting lineup. He's going to be a dud this week, and if you play him, it's going to screw you over. He's not even a flex option this week. You're definitely benching Montgomery, okay? So those are my 5 biggest ones, guys. Don't play any of these guys this week, okay? If you do, it's not going to bode well for you. These guys are not going to even, they really don't even provide a good floor. There's chances that these guys come out and don't even get you 6 or 7 points in a standard league. So you're definitely going to have them on your bench. It's just as important to know who to have on your bench as who you're going to start, right? That's of equal importance. So just because you like these players and might have taken some of them highly in the draft does not mean that you have to plug them into your lineup week 1. Swallow your pride and bench these guys week 1 if you want to win. All right, guys. So that's it for the video today, guys. Just wanted to go over a quick video of who you need to have on your bench. So we need to get this week 1 win, guys. It's important to start out 1-0. So let's make smart decisions and let's get a W this weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow.